Hello everyone. Sire here. Thank you so much for joining me for a Craft Roulette entry. This is actually last week's, which is episode 218's entry. And I just want to show you how this card was created. I started off doing some ink blending with my new Trinity stamp brushes. These are fantastic. I am loving them so much. They have a nice feel to them in my hands. They got enough bristles in them to make a nice even blend, and you can go very light with these and they blend quite incredibly. I'm very happy how this image in particular turned out. So I'm working with some Concord and Ninth inks. We have Dragon Fruit, Buttercup, and Oceanside. And when I ink these together, I'm also going to get my orange and green in between each of those layers. So you just got to overlap just slightly. I was a little hesitant with the yellow. Yellow you have to be very careful with that it doesn't pick up other colors, but I was shocked that it didn't pick up that pink. And as you can see in the brush right there, it turned out quite nice. For my geometric shapes, which is the random for episode 218, and I have this stamp set, I believe it's Visible Image, that's the name of the company, and it's called Chain Reactions, and it's just a bunch of these fancy geometric shapes that I love it a lot. It was actually a gift given to me, and this is the first time I'm actually getting to use it, I believe. And so I stamped that with some VersaFine ink and let that dry. And as that's happening, I pulled out a Concord and Ninth die set. Now, I don't believe they sell this one. If you were part of the Concord and Ninth Camp Week last year, you would have got this. And I will say there's a camp week happening soon, and anyone who's taking it, I am jealous, envious, and I hope you have a fantastic time. This year I didn't get to join the Concord and Ninth camp week, but maybe next year. And so this was last year's, and it was called Happy Trails Die. And I'm just putting this little trailer together. It's very easy to put together. It's quite an adorable little trailer. The pink I'm using actually is a Concord and Ninth cardstock, which is the same color that I used for my inking on the pink side. Now we'll just get a little wheel on there, the tiniest little wheel, which is the element for episode 218. So we need a wheel and geometric shapes, so those are both done. Now the project is supposed to be a holiday card, and then the colors are tropics. So my colors, my geometric shapes, and my wheel are all done. Now, to make this a holiday card, I'm going to treat it as you're going on vacation. And for me, whenever I say I'm on vacation, I typically say that I'm going on holidays. So I'm not thinking Christmas or Easter, Valentine's, Halloween, any of those type of holidays. I'm thinking of vacation. So this trailer and Happy Trails is my holiday card. I think that I can get away with that. I think it's okay. Now, I am going to mat this with the same Dragon Fruit cardstock from Concord and Ninth. And what I'm going to do is just trim this down so that I have a nice white ratio heading from the top and the bottom. And I also need to trim off the sides, and I'll just make it equal on both sides. Once I have that together, I'm going to start putting my little elements, my scene together. So I'm just going to make sure that the trees are in the right position. I'm going to put one on either side, and to break that symmetry, I'm going to have that little teeny tree on the right-hand side. I'm going to make it nice and lined so that it looks like it's kind of a horizon in the distance. So I want them to be a straight line when they're all glued down. And then the trailer will be just slightly down a bit, and that will create that dimension. That will create that distance in the scene. So I'm just going to keep, every time I glue down another element, because I'm not using a ruler to line these trees. So I'm going to keep putting my trailer back down just to really make sure that those trees are in the right position before the glue dries. And then I'll put my final tree down. And for the trailer, what I'm going to do is pull out some foam squares. I have these from scrapbook.com. They're the tiny little squares. They seem to last forever. And I'll just put about 5 of them on the back, and that will create some dimension. The reason I'm doing this is because I didn't want to glue them directly on the trees. I didn't want that trailer to accidentally look warped if it wasn't glued properly, because there's a gap in the middle. Now, I am going to glue this down to the mat, but when I start adding it to the card base, I decided that I want to trim that pink down a bit. I just find that I really, really like a margin from my image and the card base. There's this almost like a picture frame of feel when I do that. It makes it feel like the card is officially done. It's professionally mounted to the card base, and I find that if I allow the panel to be the full width of the card, I don't get that polished look. It doesn't mean that it looks bad. It's just a little touch that I like to add. Now, if it was a white background, I definitely will do that, and then I add foam tape because it creates a beautiful shadow and dimension. I love doing that as well. And then I'm just trimming off, just making sure that I'm eyeballing it, making sure that all the edges are pretty close to being the same. And there we go. Just a slight snip of the pink cardstock. And then we'll glue this down. And that pretty much finished this card. This is my entry for 218 Craft Roulette. And the project is holidays. The colors are tropics. There's a wheel for element, and geometrics is the random. I will finish off with saying that Craft Roulette, if you're not familiar with it, is a game show that happens almost every Friday on YouTube. Check it out at Craft Roulette, and I will put that in the description box below. Essentially, what you do is you can join in and watch Mary and a guest have a lot of fun and laughs making cards based on random parameters that is selected live on the show. I mentioned the 4, which is holiday, tropics, wheels, and geometrics, but you never know what you are going to get. When it's all done, you have until Sunday to submit a card and have a chance of winning one of a few prizes. And all you have to do is create a card, go to craftroulette.live and submit it. If you want to have a longer period of time, you can become a Patreon, and that will take you to Thursday, which is what I do. I never seem to have time to finish off a card, hence my video being late as well. So I do hope to see you there on Fridays, and don't forget to check their Facebook group. It's a great place to meet new people and have a lot of fun. So until the next time, have a wonderful, awesome, beautiful day, and maybe you'll get onto some happy trails this week. Take care. Bye.